Hi, I'm David and welcome to LeisureBit, and today I'm going to be fitting an upgrade from my E5785 Wi-Fi router, which I fitted not long after getting the van, and I'm upgrading to this ZTE 5001, which is 5G compatible. The original one I've got fitted is just 4G. I would still recommend this model. I've used it for the past 18 months. And if you don't want 5G speeds or want to spend the money on 5G, then it is a good little Wi-Fi router. It's obviously not the quickest, but it's not expensive either. And it's done the job well and served as well. So I bought this one. I actually bought it second hand because I haven't won the lottery, and the 5G routers are quite expensive. Plenty of them are up to £1,000. I paid £140 for this. This particular one has the Ethernet port as well, and I thought it was handy to get that in case I wanted to use that. It has a USB port, a power button on the top, a touch screen, and 2 antenna ports and a SIM port. It comes with a built-in battery there and a cover that just clips on the back. And on the back are also some connection details to get you up and running. So that's the ZTE MU5001. While I'm on, I'm also going to simplify and remove some of the things that I fitted previously. So I fitted that metal box that had the USB ports in. I'm going to remove that and actually fit one of these. It's got it off Amazon. It was 2 for £16.99, and I just need to make a small hole through where to fit it. It comes with a couple of screws, and then we can just screw that back and then pop this cap on. It has a switch on it, and that will actually power and charge the router. What I've also done is, when I originally connected it up, it's a long while ago since we did that video, but I actually just connected it into the feed that was used to feed into the aerial just with a splitter. What I've done now though is I've actually run a cable, if you're interested, I took it up the back here from the battery via a fuse and everything, up through and then through the cupboards and then along to where the aerial point is. I bought a mobile aerial that was 5G compatible because at some point in time I knew I wanted to do this upgrade. Quite frankly, I couldn't afford it back then, but I've saved up my pennies. We do need a TS9 to the antenna connection to put in, and then just want to fasten those up. Both of them are TS9 connections there from the SMA antenna connections. I'll pop a link in the description to the various parts I've got, and I'll pop information on the model of the 2 different routers that I've swapped for. What we'll do first is have a quick look at just using our phone. And when we're using the phone, we're tending to use it in this sort of area, which has the windows and things around it, because the van forms a bit of a Faraday cage, which attenuates signal. And what I actually find is, when you use the phone in strong signal areas, as long as you don't pop it up in the cupboard or anything like that and just keep it in this kind of area where we've got windows and things, it works fairly well. Obviously, it's a right pain if you want to connect it to things that are fixed, because you've got to enable Wi-Fi access points and then it starts using gallons of power and that sort of thing. You may find if you don't want your TV connected, in my case I've got a Serbo GX connected and I've got a CCTV system I'm going to connect up to it, and I've got a Fire Stick and I've got a smart TV. So there's a few things I'm connecting up, plus then there's Rachel's phone and tablet, there's the computer, there's my phone that connects through, so we get quite a lot of things connected up onto it, so we're getting some good use out of it. It's not for everybody, because you might actually be fine just with your phone and you might not want, you know, smart TVs and things like that, and Serbo GXs and CCTV and all that stuff. You might not want to pay for another subscription. In my case, it makes complete sense to, because I do use it and it just removes the faff. And if you watched before, one of the primary things I'm trying to do is just make it all just work. like all mobile reception, it depends where you are, what signal you'll get. The reason I want it on permanent power as well is because I can actually remotely access for either the CCTV or the Serbo GX, and it also connects up to the sat-nav in the front and gives the ability to use it while we're travelling as well, which is handy because you get a better signal having the aerial antenna, whatever you want to call it, on the roof. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove the old bits and pieces. We're then going to fit the USB socket, which will give us the power, and then we're going to fit the router onto the space that we make available there. So there's the box I originally made. For reference, I just held it on with the command strips because again it gives the option to change things. That had two SMA sockets I'd put in the top and a switch to switch the power on and off. And then coming out the bottom, managed to push the grommet in there, was a couple of USB outlets, as one of them ran this Wi-Fi TV unit. I thought I'd use that, I haven't used it, so it's coming out because it's just been sat switched off, basically plugged into the aerial, but it allows you to watch on your iPad and things through the August app. It allows you to watch TV with that. Never used it, got a telly in the van. Don't think I will ever use it. And basically what we had, just in case you haven't seen how it was done before, that sticks on with a magnet. The two TS9 aerial connections connect into there, and then ignore that one now, it's not used. And then the connection for the power goes in there, and there's a little DC connector there that plugs in to feed the power into the unit and put the switch on the top. And then the antenna SMA connections, or the aerial SMA connections, are on the top there. So that was the little box I previously built. And we'll get on and fit our USB.
Firstly, we need to drill a hole to run the wire through for the USB. We'll just clean up the mess there from drilling the hole.
What we're going to do now is just extend this wire so we can pull it through behind there. And heat shrink on there. It's going to shorten those down a little bit. A bit of solder here.
The wires which came with the USB socket were very short, so just needed to extend them so I could run it through the cabinet there. And I've done that by soldering the wire and then putting some heat shrink wrap on it, just to make sure it's not going to short circuit, and then shrinking it down.
So that's those done. What we're going to do now is just gently pull it through the hole. And now we'll grab the screws, tighten that up. Just pop the other screw in now. Good. Now we'll put the cover on, like so. And then the final piece now is just to connect the wiring up. So what we'll do now, just chop, get rid of that excess wire. There's those two, pop that right in there, put it down, that's one done. And then the final connection, a bit more length on that. There we go, there's those two connected. I'll pop that out the way now. That's come on now, we can turn it off with that switch. And then connector for that, let's pop into there, and that's now charging. I'll just fit some sticky pads there just to hold it on. I'm going to replace these tails here just with the smaller ones.
Let's have a quick look now at the final job. What's surprising is there's actually more room in the cupboard now.
So that's it done. The old one's removed. There we go. That's that one out. And the new one's fitted. and we're definitely seeing a much better download speed with that. So I'm going to try it out and about. What I'll do is I'll give it a road trip test for the next couple of months, then report back on how we're getting on. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!